Hey folks, Dave here, and welcome back to my live build of the capital for the Minutemen, the castle. Let's start things off here in episode 4 by taking a look at what I've been working on since last time. You guys can see a chunk of it right there. When trying to figure out a good way to cover up this gigantic pile of debris that was going up the wall of the castle, a bunch of you guys suggested a tower of some kind, and I really liked that idea. So let me see if I can grab one of these pieces here. There we go. Show you guys how it looked before as my frame rate collapses. Without something here, you can just walk right up the debris and into the castle. Oh, that's why this is so laggy. I held down E to grab all of the tower, but there's so many pieces connected that I actually grabbed almost every piece out of the center, like the barracks, all of the stairs from last time, the wall section. Let's see if I can rotate it around so you guys can see. Yeah, I grabbed like 2/3 of what we've built so far. Anyway, let's get back down here. So what I've done, definitely cancel that, is built up some castle stone here. I used these greenhouse posts as structural supports, some iron supports for the tower, and some nice slanted stone just to give it some extra, I guess, transition into the ground here. And then I've got some turret stands, some flags, and of course a massive tower up top. And here's my thinking for this. So this section of wall right here looks like it was actually part of the original castle, right? I even have this kind of marble lip on top. Basically, I'm designing the tower as if there had been some sort of administration building, maybe for tourism, on top. And since the apocalypse happened, the Minutemen have added their own junky tower on top. Let's go up the staircase here, show you guys what it looks like from behind there. I'm leaving the inside basically empty for now because I want to see what you guys think of the idea. But this would be an extra section of barracks, possibly even the officers' barracks, but I don't know if officers would like having their sleeping quarters kind of up on the wall. Like, a rocket attack might be kind of rough. Yes. Then again, any kind of rocket attack is going to be rough on anything that's not inside the main walls. But got some staircases here with some supports, a nice tile rooftop, some white brick that looks both modern but doesn't, you know, stand out too much compared to the castle stone, and then a guard post up here with some junky wooden supports and railings, as if this has been added by the Minutemen since the Great War. And the stairs come down this way. I have some more railings and some stairs here, and I actually built my own little railing right here to fill in this awkward gap next to the staircase because this doorway right here was just a little bit too wide. But yeah, guys, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna most likely keep it and add a few more details, but I think this out-jutting piece, even if the tower weren't on top, would definitely look like it was part of the original castle. That seals in the gap, and I also don't think I need to mirror that on this side of the door. For one thing, the door would not quite be centered, I don't think, but I think it looks just fine not being centered, because at the end of the day, this is still the apocalypse. You know, a nicely designed capital for the Minutemen is my goal here, but there comes a point when you're just not going to worry about things like symmetry when you're gathering building supplies from a destroyed Boston, you know? Gotta draw the line somewhere. Other than that, though, I haven't done a whole lot with this build because I have been working very hard on Spectacle Island. I actually had to go through and replace some textures I've been working on so you guys wouldn't accidentally see them and spoil that build, because that one's going to be ridiculous. Lots of custom textures. That does leave us with plenty left to do here at the castle, though. And I think I'm going to aim for this tour probably the end of April, because Spectacle Island is going to take a bit longer. Today, though, let's start things off by working on our workshop area. I'm going to go in here and show you guys where I have just placed my robot workstation. I do have the season pass for Fallout, and the Automatron DLC just came out. I had to kind of make room for it. Takes up a lot of space. I originally had my power armor station with these nice mats in that corner. I'm just wondering if there's any other way I can do this, because I'm not completely sold on how this is looking. Let me just glitch this over here for now. Move this power armor out of the way. I've got the X01 power armor that the Minutemen are working on. I've mentioned in the past that I'm actually not a huge fan of power armor. It's just not my style. But you guys pointed out that if this is the Minutemen's capital and their military headquarters, we would be working with power armor at least, even if the general was not using it himself. I'm going to see if I can move a couple of these workbenches and things here. Find a better place for the robot workstation. Oh, here we go. It'll fit in this corner. And that, I think, will work a lot better. It just takes up so much space. Okay, no arms clipping. Good, good, good. It's got like a huge amount of hitbox on it too, and I actually am gonna fudge that just a bit because it can go there without the arms actually being in the wall. That works a lot better, and I think, let's grab my power armor station here. Yeah, that's gonna look a lot better in this corner, I think. So when you walk in the Armory doors here, it'll be right out front. Let's float you over here for a second. Grab the rugs here, and I think I'm gonna do it, yeah, this one right here. Do this one first. Actually, that needs to rotate around. Turn off snapping here so I can glitch it into the floor just a bit. There we go. Is that actually aligned? Yeah, it is. Turn snapping back on, put that power armor station right there. It's like 1 degree off, but you know what? That's fine. Yeah, I definitely prefer how that looks. Put the tool chest back over here. I think I had some lockers and stuff that I'm going to put back in this corner too. Got a cart. Let's leave you out here because I liked having those lockers in here, and I want to see if those are going to fit again first. Some of you guys were asking if I was having mod issues with the Automatron DLC, and as you can see, the answer is definitely no. I checked out a couple of my other settlements, and all the objects are in place and looking just fine. No crashes, no glitches. Although in the Automatron DLC, in the first encounter with the robots, keeping it spoiler free, one of the robots was doing like a really fast, glitchy circle, but I just reloaded a save, and it worked fine, so. There we go. Lockers back to the corner. That might leave room to put my weapons workbench back over here, too. Thing's got a lot of depth to it, though. I don't know if I can actually use it there. Okay, no, I can't. Alright, let me outfall out. That's fine. I will just leave it over here for now. Turn off snapping so I can glitch it into that debris on the floor. I'm definitely still using the precise movement mod, which is the auto hotkey script for adjusting things after I place them, but by turning snapping on and off with the place anywhere mod, I can get things a lot closer and it'll require less adjustments with the precise adjustment tool. As always, with these builds being pretty complicated, I'm trying to do anything I can to save myself time. Put the power armor back in the station now. I had this kind of little stand for this industrial generator, and I made room for the armor stand up here too, the armor workbench. I think that works pretty well. I had to move it out of here once I put in the robot workbench. Nice. Everything appears to be working there. And save. Okay. There's one light here in the center of the room. That's enough for the power armor station, but I feel like the robot workbench, grab out of here, that could use a bit more light outside of the sparking. I wonder how a, let's see, one of these lights like this would look. I've mentioned this before, but you want to be careful with the lights that you use in your settlements because they're one of the biggest FPS killers. So 2 lights in here, I think, is plenty. That's not quite Minutemen blue, but it's close enough. Let her continue patrolling the castle while I work on the build. Got a stool here.
I must apologize for the odd noises I'm currently emitting. A consequence of being mechanical in nature.
Do I want any more chairs in here? Here we go. A couple work chairs might be neat. Do one there. And there. There's plenty of shelving in here already. I'm not going to mess with that because it actually respawns some of these mines and purified waters and stuff like that. So wherever possible, I'm not going to put too many things on these shelves. Yeah, there's plenty of surface area in here, so that leaves props and decorations. Can I get a floor mat in here? Turn off snapping for a second. I'll put one back here where the weapons workbench is, just to break up how the floor looks. That looks good there. Let's do some wall decorations. We already have our nice high-res Minutemen flag there with the texture replacement. Oh, and speaking of mods and texture replacements, I am still getting a lot of questions about the mods that I use, guys. There's a video and a Google Doc linked in the description, and the video covers the main mods that I use, and the Google Doc is a complete resource of all of the changes I've made to my mod list since making that original review video. And between those two resources, the video and the Google Doc, all the information about the mods that I'm using are actually in there. So if you're wondering if that's up to date, I do keep it up to date, and that is the best place to mimic my mod list and see which ones I'm using. So if you do have questions about the mods I'm using, definitely check that out. I think I'm going to add the Automatron poster. That's not quite fourth wall breaking, is it? I think it's huge, though. Okay, let's just turn snapping off. Oh, it was off. I'm just now remembering I don't have my precise adjustment mod open at the moment. I gotta tab out here in a second and fix that. There we go. That's pretty sweet. And we're back. I think I should now have my precise positioning mod, and I do. Okay, sweet. Now I think we need a painting of Mr. Washington behind the power armor. Come on. Almost there. Oh, it's actually in the power armor. Let's scoot it off the wall just a bit. Okay, that looks centered for the painting, not for the power armor frame. Alright guys, this is bugging me here. It's off the wall again. This is where the precise adjustment tool comes in handy. I can just not tilt it. Get it exactly where I want it. And yes, guys, this is how I decorate all of my settlements. Perfect. Okay, it's actually not perfect, but you know what? We are going to roll with it because it's time to move on. I think anything else for the workshop would have to be posters. Although I am seeing a very dark corner on this side. Let's see if I can just put a light bulb here. That should do the trick. Okay, back to our wall decorations. Let's look at small posters first. Got a lot of graffiti in my mod pack now. I do like this Lonesome Hearts graffiti. Put that right there over the workbench. But what I'm mainly looking for, and of course we do have our Minutemen paint right there we can add somewhere. I'm looking for small signs like this Nuka-Cola sign that would just fit really well for a workshop. Poseidon Energy. Great Khans. Caesar's Legion. Here we go. Red Rocket Gasoline. My goal for the wall decorations, and I'm going to tilt this one just a bit, is to make it like your classic old school garage. just bits of posters and whatnot on the wall. And any more old metal signs that I can find too. Pert ducks and covers. And of course, for the gun workbench, you gotta have your guns are fun poster. And a reminder that loose talk can cost lives. Put that on the door there. Together we win. That's a good poster for in here, I think. Although the flag kind of takes up most of the space, I'll put it in the opposite wall there. There's our Minutemen poster. That's what I was looking for. And I'm planning, guys, once I release most likely the Spectacle Island build, to release a texture pack of the custom posters and all that I've been creating for these settlements. The communism can kill poster. No, curiosity can kill. I think one of those needs to be tilted just a bit too. Where will you be when the Holocaust comes? Put that in the locker right there. And I think that about does it for the posters, guys. War bonds feed the guns. Here we go. We'll put a pin-up poster in here. That'll do it for the posters. I am going to look under small signs because this is a workshop. Let's go ahead and make a save at this point too, just to be safe. Okay, I lied. One more poster. Seen is under the sign category. The outside world can never hurt you next to the reactor. What I'm looking for are any kind of signs that would work well for a workshop. I think I'm going to use this Fort Independence sign for outside the castle. I'm going to go ahead and place it while I'm looking at it, but I am going to retexture it because I'm not a big fan of the texture being used here. The typeface and all just does not look like it fits in, and also the typeface is too perfect. It's not weathered or worn at all. Sink it into the ground a bit there. Yeah, you guys can see it's just too perfect. I can't tell, is that like marble behind it or something? But yeah, I'll do some custom texture work on that. Minutemen headquarters. Cell block, barracks, armory. Well, that makes sense. It's a little small, though. I will put the restricted area above the door. Got some paint versions there. Blacksmith. Bookstore. Electrical, clothing, armor, guns. Put a gun sign on the wall here. I'd like just a armory sign though, for outside the armory, not just like a guns. Armor and protection. These are pretty small. Got more posters under the signs here. Wretched Hive. Those are cool signs. Ghouls welcome. Synths welcome. Hardware, some graffiti here. I doubt I'll use any of that. It's a bit too modern looking. I haven't actually used the guns, guns, guns sign yet. What does that take? 5 glass. I've got plenty of glass to spare, as you guys can see. I'll just build it for now while I'm looking at it. Radiation, caution, machinery crossing. What does this one say? Robot operating area. I'll put a wear your eye protection poster here along with the sound of silence. Wear your hearing protection. And I'll put one here too. That actually fits pretty well under the flag. Here we go. Caution, this machine has no brain. Use your own. See if I can get it on the wall there. Be awesome to actually stick this to some part of the unit itself. Oh, there we go. That worked out really well. Let's see. Really no need for an exit sign in here. It's pretty small. I will put a warning for hearing protection. There's enough warnings out here, though. Ooh, fallout shelter. Now, this is actually the part that leads down to the bunker. So I am going to put a fallout shelter sign outside. And it's floating, so let's go ahead and just fix that. There we go. Danger. High voltage. That seems self-explanatory. Caution, explosives. That would actually work well for the gun bench. And the laser warning. Be aware always, employees only, restricted area. I will add the restricted area sign next to the fallout shelter sign. That looks good. Electrical, plumbing, tools, restrooms. Advertisement posters. Again, though, I think we're good on posters. Trying to get them to load here. There's a lot. It's actually not loading the previews for me. Yeah, it's just really not liking the textures for that mod for some reason right now. I'll have to check for an update now that we have a patch out. Vault Tech will be there. Turn Surface Snap back on, although these are just glitching right through. I'm not sure what's going on here. Any more metal signs here? Nuka-Cola floats, locksmith for rent, police, drug signs. So these are not exactly what I'm looking for. For the workshop. Caution, hazardous material. That actually works. Yeah. whole place is hazardous. Do another save here, seeing it's acting up just a bit. Let's go past all of our graffiti here and see what kind of larger signs we have. Not many, actually. Okay. Well, we didn't find as many of those kind of old-style metal signs as I was hoping, like the Nuka-Cola one, but I think that's a pretty great collection for the workshop area. Together we win. I think I would like to raise that electric up a bit, but I'll leave it be for now. Let's look at some clutter here, guys. The obvious place to look would be the workshop, but I'm going to start with the office, actually. Office category. I can turn off snapping here and place a couple of these guys down below. Now, a bulletin board. That would actually make sense. Where to put it, though? I'll store that poster, and we'll put our bulletin board here for internal announcements. Got some files. Put that with that empty box there. Let's place a couple of the closed boxes. I'm thinking over here. Again, turning snap off. And then one open one over here. Okay. A water cooler. That'll fit in pretty great back here. If I can find a spot for it. Yeah, in the corner next to the power armor. Burnt textbook. Could be a user manual. Speaking of which, let's put one on the table up here. Could be instructions for this monstrosity. Gotta have a clipboard. Do one there. One there with the stool, let's say. And one here for the countertop. I'll put a fan here, keep the air flowing. A clean globe. I'll put you up on top of the lockers back here. What else do we have? Telephone, fake comics, all kinds of fake books here. U.S. Covert Operations Manual. Now, this is not a cheat item, it actually does nothing, it's just a prop. Face paint fundamentals. And I'll put a typewriter back here. That could probably use a stool. I'll put 2 stools there. I'm just thinking a nice simple metal workshop stool. Yeah. Do one there. Whoop, not flying. One there. Let's actually scoot you down just a bit. One there. Okay. I'll leave the rest of that hallway open. I was thinking about a couch right there, but this really isn't the lounge. This is the the work area. And going back to my clutter here, also means that some barrels would be appropriate. Do one here and one there. Rotate that just a bit. And one box here as well. I'm thinking Vault Tech box there. And turning snap off. Vault Tech box here. Again, nothing should actually be spawning on those shelves, so that should be okay. Put a crate right here. Yeah, let's do a big crate. Move this up here. As you guys can see, I'm kind of consolidating the props here, because I'm just remembering before we go back to the other clutter that I actually want to go to the furniture. I wanted to add some armory looking containers to this build, so oh, I just placed you under the ground. Does no clip actually work? Okay, no clip's not working right now, so I can't go get it. I should probably make a note to go back and remove that prop, because it's silly to have it taking up memory down below there. So yeah, we gotta have some ammo boxes back here. One next to the gun bench here, and this would probably be full of like primers and whatnot. Do one up top here. We'll put a few next to the pinup poster on this side. Do one there. One there. I think that's a Institute ammo box. Put that there. This fit here? Could use one more little workbench just like that. Rotate it just a tiny bit, and there we go. So cabinet. The overhead cabinet. That would be good if it weren't for the flag. Where could the flag go? I mean, we have one back here. So really and truly, we don't need it here. And I think that the cabinet looks better to fill that wall space. Still looking for the ammo crates I was thinking of. We can do a cooler here in the meantime. They're back here somewhere. There we go. Duffel bag. I'm going to put a couple here on the shelves. What just fell? Oh, one of the boxes just went flying. Duffel bag here. Duffel bag here. Let's do one in the corner too. Okay. Box, where did you even come from? Huh. I'll just store you in the workshop then. Now a filing cabinet, that actually kind of makes sense. This wouldn't be necessarily the archives, but this is a secure storage area. Let's put one filing cabinet just tucked right there in that corner. Now guys, what I'm trying to avoid here is a mistake that's all too easy to make, and that is over decoration. You don't have to fill every single gap, and you also don't want to use every single prop. You can make things too detailed. So I will put the filing cabinet there. That'll be for secure document storage, but other than that, I'm gonna focus on the goal of finding that army box, wherever it went. There it is, the footlocker. The army box. And I'll put a couple of these down here. And perhaps one here too. Okay, well that's what I was looking for. I am going to put a couple of these first aid kits around here. One near the power armor makes sense. One near the robot machine. We'll do one out here next to the workbench out here. Those were all the containers that I was thinking of. Yep, that looks good to me. I lied! I found a toolbox! Gotta have a toolbox over here for working on the robots. And a trash can. That makes sense. And we can't not have the army trunk. I mean, come on guys, that's too perfect. In fact, I'm gonna move these footlockers elsewhere just to make room for that army steamer trunk. I'm glad I kept looking because I had totally forgotten about these things. Now that looks like an armory and a workshop. Really liking how this is coming out, guys. Okay, well that's more than enough containers, seeing we're having to remove some now. Let's go to the actual workshop props. Floor jack. Turning snap back on. Garage diagnostic cart. Over here for the power armor. A step ladder. We almost don't have room for this thing. Store those files in the workshop and put our step ladder up here for easy access. A tool rack. Probably should have put the tool rack up before I covered the wall and decorations. Let's see if I can make room for it. If I move the Minutemen flag over, move the graffiti to this side, fix the floating, okay, and let's lower that down just a bit too. No! Well, I meant to move it just slightly and I stored it instead. So let's just put the tool rack here. That works out pretty well. It would work out even better though if I just swapped these two guys right here. Well, that is actually colliding with the other prop. The table with the wheels there. I was going to say, I know you're going to fit back here because the other table, which is much deeper, fit. There we go. Now we can lower the tool rack down just a tad. I'll just do it manually. A little more. Now let's put our flag back. Decorations, wall decorations, flags. There we go. It is still trying to clip into the wall oddly, but we can fix that. Well guys, that is a pretty convincing workshop, and we still have a handful of props left to place. I'm going to put an ashtray here on the main table, and a holotape as well, generic holotape. Put it with the operations manual, like it's recorded instructions or something. Some keys for the workshop, that also makes sense. Bobby pin box. Military ammo bag. That's a small enough detail that I don't think I'm going to add those in here. Save that memory for something else. But I am going to put a lit cigarette in the ashtray. After the ashtray here, guys, I'm just going to do a quick pass with a few more props to save on some time, and then we'll move on to our next area that we're going to work on for today. Let's speed up time just a bit. And we're back once again, folks, with the last bit of prop decoration for the armory. Let's let Ada get by here. The final props have been placed. I've got some makeshift batteries out here. I definitely went with the cabinet and kept that.
You need something, General?
In the armory itself, I added some Fat Man storage, some extra light bulbs, a cleaning broom, some extra small props here on the table, and of course an extra Fat Man. And to place those, I actually have to use some of my inventory's Fat Men to make the prop. So that sucks. I'm down to like, okay, well I have 30, but still, that's an expensive prop right there. I added fire extinguishers basically everywhere. You can see a nice pile of 50 cal ammo there. Some extra gas in the corner. All kinds of parts and oil tins and everything else you might need when making your robots. Some Mr. Handy fuel, more extinguishers, more parts and debris and glue and blowtorches. And actually a few tools here hanging off of the rack. Extinguishers and spare parts in the lockers, extra batteries in the lockers, coolant, cleaning materials, and basically everything else to make a complete workshop. And guys, I'm gonna call this complete for this section of the castle. I'm really happy with how it turned out. It makes you just want to make yourself at home and do some power armor crafting with your Nuka-Cola sign in the background. Good stuff. So, we're going to shift gears for the rest of this episode and do something just a bit different. I've been playing around with the idea of having a kind of small version of the Valentine detective agency over here at the castle. Almost like an investigative wing for the Minutemen. I think Valentine's actually here somewhere. He might be at Red Rocket right now. I honestly can't quite remember. But I'm going to try and create just a little office for him, kind of like a meeting room. Let's see if I can build a small room here, basically. Okay, that's actually the perfect size, I think. Should I use cinder block? Let's put the door on first. Does that pipe actually fit? We can just pretend like we've cut away some of the foundation there for the pipe. I think that works out just fine. We'll give him a nice section of wall there. If that clips, it does. Okay. Then all that's left is a roof. I want to go with glass. Yeah. We'll go with a glass rooftop, just for soundproofing, basically. I'm going to want the door to swing inwards, unfortunately. Let's see, what's the best door for this? It needs to be soundproof. Oh, that's the wrong door. Will that swing in? Okay. That's fine. I can just rotate that right in place. And now it swings in. There we go. That's going to be cramped, but it's just a satellite office. I think it'll work fine. Got that electric that comes in right there. Feel like I should almost shield that with something, but first, let's get his desk and whatnot in there. It's gonna have to be a pretty small desk. That'd be under containers, I think. I think I saw those earlier. Yep, there's the big desk, which is far too big. Turn snap back on there. I'll put his desk over in the corner. Give him a very small office chair, not a barber chair. Let's see. This one might even be too big. No, that works. And then for his visitors, just a real simple chair. Maybe... yeah. They can pull it up for the interview. I think I can actually fit, like, 2 of these in here, maybe? Yeah. Any other containers that I can fit in that corner? It'd have to be pretty narrow. A file cabinet makes sense, though. Can't quite get around the desk, though. What if I put it like that? Nope. Whew, this is a tight fit. Although I guess his file cabinet could go in the corner. Move his desk out slightly. Just do a single chair. Gotta work within the confines of the castle walls here, guys, so things are gonna get pretty tight inside. There we go. And we can just put a nice plant for decorations on his desk there. Would it be under miscellaneous decor? Quite possibly. Here we go. A bell for service. Big box for evidence. Ooh, a coffee set. That seems appropriate. I'm actually out of those now. Need more loot to build more. There's the plants. Potted plant. Put you right on top of filing cabinet. And we can put a set of stairs in too while I'm thinking about it. If it'll snap. Maybe it won't. It's okay. When in doubt, I can clip it. I'll just do a single stair like this. That works out well. Everything's looking good from this side. Little, I don't want to call it interrogation booth, but let's call it an interview booth right there. He's already got his chair outside. Got an interview chair inside. Potted plant, coffee set, looking nice there. Let's do wall decorations next. Thinking just a couple of paintings should do the trick. Something pleasant. But we can do a big one for inside, I think. Yeah. Do a nice meadow inside. A pleasant lake painting for outside. I guess we could put one on the wall right here, but I think it looks better just tucked into the corner. How about some signs, though? Large posters. Tunnel snakes rule. Got all kinds of dark graffiti here. Fight the Red Menace with cookies. Peace, peace. Give peace a chance. Some red rocket posters. This is actually what I was looking for. Just some posters for the outside wall. Like someone's left notices and stuff. And while I have the posters up, I just remembered that I need to put some on our bulletin board. Look at that. Like it was made for it. Magic of Christmas. Rebuilding America's future today. I'll put that on the inside of Valentine's office there. The underworld. Thank you, Overseer. Hard work is happy work. Brahmin. The owls are not what they seem. Obey, sleep, watch TV, conform. Thank you. No, would you kindly? A little bit of a Bioshock reference there. I like it. Okay, let's look under small posters here. Privacy, Rule 2, all are welcome. Give it an all are welcome here. Neutral zone, get well soon. You suck. I'm just looking for a generic poster for the inside. But I'll add the Minutemen graffiti on the outside. Here we go, kind of a joke poster. Vault Boy graffiti. I don't think that actually fits what I was looking for. I thought it'd be a funny twist, but there we go. Protecting your family. The Minutemen. Exactly what I was looking for. What's this? Stop worrying today. Here we go. A nice Boston poster to go along with the front desk. It is a bit off the wall, though. There we go. All that leaves, guys, is some personal effects. Oh, I am going to put one sign on the outside here. From the small signs category. That's going to be a restricted area of some kind sign. Not this one, I don't think. Like a, you know, employees only, that kind of thing. Kitchen, plumbing. Corded neutral territory. I like that. Pub sign, no ghouls. Oh, the open sign. I think that would work better than the restricted area sign that I was thinking of. If I can find where the open signs are. I think they're in here somewhere. Thinking of the neon one that's actually glowing to go along with his glowing wall sign. Instead of restricted, I'll go with employees only, just to imply that it's, you know, a private area. All kinds of posters here. Traders welcome. The police sign kind of works, I think. Yeah, I'll skip the open sign in favor of the police sign. So like I said a few minutes ago, before diving into the endless supply of signs that I have installed, personal effects and household items. Can't really do a fan because of the curved ceiling and the glass ceiling. But under office supplies, I am going to grab a desk fan and a camera as we go by. Without the option for a ceiling fan, that room would probably get a bit claustrophobic. I'll aim it at my guests here because, after all, Valentine is not a human. He probably wouldn't care about a fan. Do a globe here. Oh yeah, and magazines are also under the office supplies. So I'm gonna do a rolled Boston Bugle here. A recorder. And a camera. You guys can consider that recorder coming straight from the Institute, basically. And a pen and a note for the office. A comic book for out front. Astoundingly Awesome Tales. There's one of my guards going to his next station. I think the notes are also under the office supplies. These are still more magazines, though. Well, no note, but there is a magnifying glass and a typewriter, which would be perfect for Valentine's office. So I'll just put the pen over here in the corner. That plant is completely uncentered. It's working in this tight space here. It tends to not clip the way you want it to. Put the recorder up here. And the camera over here. Then I'll grab that typewriter. Alright guys, there we have it. It's Valentine's interview office. Some cracked glass above. Employees only. I think this guy is just going in circles because I have the passage of time locked down while I'm building. It's still morning time. Definitely one of my favorite ideas for this settlement right here is the Valentine's detective office. That's very cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of today's progress. You guys can discuss the tower over here amongst yourselves. As I said, I'm pretty happy with it, but I'm still open to suggestions and change if you guys, absolutely hate it or something. But I think the base wall piece, if nothing else, is definitely staying because it fits in really, really nicely with the rest of the castle. And of course, you guys have seen plenty of the workshop today, so I'm not going to wander back that direction. We're going to call it here. I'll be working on this some more, but I am going on vacation next week and focusing a bit more on Spectacle Island. So this episode will have to last you guys for just a bit, but I hope you've enjoyed it. As always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you all next time.